Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Charot feeling. Okay, so October 5 was World Teachers Day, so I thought of creating something for our dear teachers and about education in general bilang estudyante naman ako ulit dito. And of course, what's the point of calling my vlog Rocks in Sydney if I don't show you a bit of this beautiful city in every video? So today I brought you to Hyde Park. This is the oldest park in Sydney. It's 16 hectares, sobrang laki, sobrang lawak, and it's located right at the heart of central Sydney. That's also one of the things that I love about Sydney. They have lots of open spaces literally everywhere. And since this one is in the city, usually during lunchtime, you'll see a lot of people having lunch or tumatambay or even employees who work out during lunchtime. Yes, they do that here. Yeah, so guys, walk with me in Hyde Park. I know some students have also started doing blended learning in the Philippines. I have seen a lot of hilarious memes on Facebook, which I think are very accurate. So, here's a quick video in honor of our dear teachers, along with some tips for students to make the most out of school. Tip number 1, read up. Growing up, my mom would always have me sit down for an hour or two almost every day to read books and make notes, not during classes, but weeks before classes even began. Of course, I would always complain and say, I don't understand the words or the concepts are too advanced or whatever excuse I can come up with. But syempre, hindi naman ako nananalo sa nanay ko. May statue doon, di ko alam kung sino siya, i-google natin mamaya. And so, I would always go to first day of classes with a little bit of an idea about every first chapter of every book in every subject. So, sa lahat ng kaklase ko nung elementary at high school, yun ang dahilan kung bakit bibukid si ate mo girl palagi sa mga classroom kahit first day or first week pa lang ng class. It actually paid off because I actually do the same thing here in Sydney as a postgrad student. In fact, you absolutely cannot go to any class without having done any pre-readings at all. Because, number one, if you're like me and you have zero background in business and you're doing an MBA, you will be lost in the class, as in you will find it hard to keep up. And number two, in business school, you're actually encouraged and expected to contribute to the discussions, either by asking questions or sharing your experiences or even challenging the lecturer. So how will you do that if you haven't read anything, diba? So, students, it pays to read, and you have to build up that habit as early as you can, because if you haven't started yet, you will find it hard kapag medyo umedad-edad na kayo. Okay, let's proceed with tip number 2 while we're in this beautiful part of Hyde Park. Okay, init. Tip number 2 is enrich your vocabulary. May duman, kaya nahiya tayo ng slide. Okay, enrich your vocabulary. You know how kids would usually ask, what does this word mean or what does that word mean? Well, of course, I used to ask those questions too. And of course, my mom and my ate and my kuya would answer me. But it came to a point when my mom taught me how to use the dictionary whenever I encountered a new word. She would say, if I taught you everything and simply answered all of your questions, how will you manage when you're all by yourself? And so that way, she taught me that famous verse na, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So I had this habit of always writing down words that I don't know the meaning of. And then I would check the dictionary later on to find out what it means, and I'll try to use them in my own words and in my own sentence. And I carried that on till high school, till college, and up until now na I'm already doing postgrad. Even in my interactions with classmates, I learned a lot. For example, one of my classmates used the word kerfuffle in one of our discussions, so I had to Google that and write it down. So now I maintained a notebook where I write words and the meanings and how to use them in a sentence. And if you want me to share that with you and share some words, comment in the section below. Charot. Okay, still in Hyde Park, and that's Archibald Fountain. And we're down to our final tip. Tip number 3, it's not about the grades. It's never about the grades. So don't beat yourself up if you don't always get high grades. But that is also not to say that you can just slack off and be lazy. One of my lecturers here in Sydney once told the class, high grades should never be your end goal, but only a byproduct of your hard work throughout the semester. And he's right. My first subject in MBA was called Strategic Frameworks, and so far, yun yung subject na pinakamababa yung grade ko. But that's also the subject where I learned the most, so I don't mind the low grades as long as you get the learning. Actually, several years from now, you won't remember what grades you got in all of your classes in PATH. And what you'll remember are the life experiences, the people, your relationships with your peers, the life lessons, and all of that. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed our little tour of Hyde Park, along with some tips for school from me and some of my experiences that I shared. I was very lucky to have been taught and trained by some of the best teachers in the world. Of course, pinangungunahan ng aking butihing ina, my mother, and also all of my teachers from my 2 alma maters, Colegio de Santa Rosa de Lima and University of the Philippines, Diliman. So hats off to all parents and to all educators. Thank you very much for your dedication. Napagod na ako mga besh. At mainit. So upo na tayo. But before we end this vlog, let's try something fun. In honor of our educators, let's try how many of your teachers can you name in 1 minute. I'll give it a go. This is a timer. Okay? Timer starts. Now, Ma'am Magnaye, advisor ko for several years in elementary. Si Ma'am Sadueste, the first teacher to call me by my nickname. Si Ma'am Ermita, Filipino teacher. Ma'am Sadueste was also one of my advisors. Ma'am Reyes, I remember folk dance. Ma'am Makasinag, math teacher. Ma'am Enriquez, English also in elementary. Speaking of English, Ma'am Campos and Ma'am Regondola are also brilliant English teachers. Ma'am Magigad taught me how to write in cursive form. For high school, si Ma'am Andal, biology and chemistry. Si Ma'am Sir Barry Manguera for physics. Sir Javier for math. Sino pa ba? Okay, let's go to college. In UP, Ma'am Mayan Los Baños, news and documentary. In Sir River Bledo, my favorite teacher for radio production. Ma'am Pinky Asiron for TV production and performance. Sir June Austria, of course, my thesis advisor. Ilan yun? Tapos na agad. Okay, bilangin natin mamaya. Okay, thanks everyone for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.